Where do you think then that some of these big names that we've been talking about, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., some of the others, where are they going to wind up landing? Are they going to wind up with cabinet positions, or are they going to be given sort of czar roles? Where do these guys land?
My guess is it's going to be that overused czar terminology for a variety of reasons. If you're in the cabinet, like I was, you have to go through Senate confirmation, which is a pain in the rear end to begin with.
But you've got the Senate now.
It doesn't make any difference because the Democrats still get to go through all your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Because the Senate was Republican when I was named the OMB director, and it was still a miserable experience. Plus, and this is probably more important for somebody like Elon Musk, there are very specific rules about what you can own and cannot own when you're in the cabinet. And my guess is Elon Musk is not going to sell SpaceX or Tesla so that he could serve as the Secretary of Commerce.
Yeah, no, look, that's fair enough. One of the other things, Mick, that's really struck me too, just going through the numbers coming out of this whole election process has been just how poorly the Democrats did. And the thing that's really struck me is that even in their strong Democrat strongholds, my hometown of New York City, for example, places like Texas, they've really, the shine is off them. And it feels to me like just traveling around, even in places like LA, I've met a lot more people who were willing to come out and say they were pro-Trump than I did in 2020 and certainly in 2016.
The thesis going into the election amongst the chattering class, of which I'm a member here, was that the red states were getting redder and the blue states were getting bluer.
Yeah.
That turned out to be completely false. Almost every state, I think except one, moved somewhat to the right. Some of them moved very, very hard to the right, including California, New York, New Jersey. Look at Donald Trump only lost New Jersey by 5 percentage points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fewer than he lost in Virginia 4 years ago.
So, if you look at the last 20 years of American politics, and particularly since 2008, the left has been dominated by this kind of Obama-ism type of thinking and so on. Does this result now, you see all the hand-wringing in the New York Times, oh, is this who America really is? Because they never went out and talked to them. But, is this a rebuke to that sort of Obama-style democratic governance, heavy on identity politics, very self-critical of America and American leadership?
It's fun to see the other side screw up because I've been through this. I've been on the short end of this before as a Republican, and there's always this great wailing and gnashing of teeth and what's wrong with our party. Right now, they can't figure out what's wrong. There's a wing of them that says, oh my goodness, we're too much on the cultural issues. The trans issue was bad for us. The DEI issue was bad for us. Boys playing in girls' sports was really bad for us. And there's other people who say, no, those policies are great. We just had the wrong people at the top. So they're having a good bit of infighting right now, which is sort of, you and I can just buy the popcorn, sit back and watch it.
Now, let's talk too about Australia. And where does, the Australian alliance fall into with Donald Trump in the White House now? I think, we've spoken about this before. Donald Trump is generally, I think, sympathetic to Australia. But, back home in Australia, there's a lot of people say, oh, we've got to reconsider AUKUS. Will the United States, stick up for us and all of this sort of thing. How does the alliance go forward with Donald Trump at the helm?
The alliance is institutional more than anything else. It's so old, and there's so many connections. There's cultural, there's language, there's economic, there's military, that I would find it hard to believe that it would come at a real strain. The personal level is different.
Well, and that's where I wanted to go with this here, too, because, we know that Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, I broke this story earlier this week, said in 2017 that Donald Trump scared the S out of him. We'll just say that. It's a family show. And we know, of course, about all of the comments of Ambassador Kevin Rudd. Now, I know that there's been a bit of backfilling exercise here where they're trying to make nice with the...
Oh, Albanese, I understand, deleted all the tweets, which always solves the problem.
And so with Trump being so relationship focused, can Kevin Rudd stay tenably as the ambassador?
The answer is yes, but there's work to do. I mean, look, Donald Trump is a person. Just because you get elected president doesn't mean you become this superhuman being. He's an ordinary person. You and I are ordinary people. If I said something bad about you on Twitter, well, thank you very much. We can work through it, but it's going to take somebody picking up the phone and calling Donald Trump and working through it. He's certainly not going to call Anthony Albanese and say, by the way, now would be a good time for you to apologize to me. That conversation's not going to happen. Albanese needs to pick up the phone, Rudd needs to pick up the phone and do what gentlemen do and say, look, sorry about what I said, let's move forward, work together, that kind of thing.
So, the thing is that, of course, Donald Trump is somebody who puts so much stake in those personal relationships. I mean, that is so you think that this is salvageable then?
But look at it this way. He and Scott Morrison did not get along particularly well at the outset of the first term. By 2019, 2 years later, when I was the chief of staff, we hosted Australia in a formal state dinner on the back lawn of the White House. We only did that twice in the first Trump term. One for France, which is a historical sort of obligation of the President of the United States, and once for Australia. So that's how easy it is to fix relationships, but you have to try.
Mick Mulvaney, thanks so much for your
Good
time.
to see you, my friend.
Great to see you.